Hey, welcome back to Let's Eat with Russ. Today I'm going to show you how to make beer can chickens, except in this case I'm actually going to do Cornish game hens. They're a little smaller. I'm not feeding a lot of people. You can use kitchen scissors and chop off the tail or the little piece of the neck, but for this purpose it really doesn't matter, so I'm not going to bother. So for these little Cornish game hens, I mean, for a whole chicken, a regular sized chicken, you would use just a regular size, can of beer, or it could even be a soda can. And you want it to be about a third to maybe halfway full. So if you're a beer drinker, it's easy to just crack a beer and drink half of it real quick. Anyway, so for these smaller Cornish game hens, I like to use these little miniature cans. So I had to drink more soda than I typically do. So I'm actually going to do two different varieties. One of them I am going to do with beer. The other one I just used Marsala wine, so it'll be a little bit like a kind of a chicken Marsala. So if you don't know about beer can chickens, the whole point is that the liquid, it doesn't have to be beer. You can do this with pineapple juice to do like a Hawaiian style chicken, or lemonade, or to do kind of a lemon chicken. You can season it with whatever you like, but you're basically just going to shove the chicken over the can. But for these Cornish hens, you can't fit, obviously, a beer can in them. And even these are going to be a little bit of a tight fit. So anyway, really quick, I'm actually going to dump off this extra liquid from when I just washed them, so I don't get all the seasonings stuck in the liquid. So I'm going to do that real quick. All right, that's better. So anyway, I already got the one that's half full with the Marsala wine. The other empty one, I still need to put the beer in it. So again, the cook gets the beer. So for the beer can, it might be a little easier to just use a funnel. So I'm just going to shove a funnel in there and make it simple. If you're outdoors, standing next to the grill over some grass or dirt or whatever, you could just, oh, that didn't, I wasn't expecting the foam up process. Yeah, we're good. All right, so I want to season them first before I get them onto the beer can. So on one of these, I'm going to use my dry rub. That's the rub. Oh, now I got a bunch of beer on my tray again. So I try to get it, under the wings and under the legs, whatever I'm seasoning, whichever with. I don't know why this rub's not, oh, went a little heavy there. Might have to spread that around. I'm doing a terrible job right now. In a little bit of a rush because I got hungry people that are waiting on me to get this going already. I've already cooked and made like 4 different food videos today, so I'm running a little behind schedule. Yeah, this should be good. So I'm going to use my dry rub on the one that's going to have the beer in it. And again, you just want to kind of stand it up, and as best you can. Like I said, these little Cornish game hens are going to be a little bit of a snug fit, so kind of just force it and kind of make it fit. But at the end of the day, it basically just kind of looks like a grumpy sumo wrestler, and with his arms tucked in and whatever. So for this other one, I'm just going to do salt and pepper and a little bit of garlic and just do the Marsala wine. So I'm going to get to that one in a second because I want to wash the rub off of these hands so it doesn't get onto that bird. So again, I'm going to season this other bird. Just doing some freshly ground peppercorns. Nothing too fancy, pretty basic. Get some salt on that side. And a little bit of garlic, granulated. It's just easy. The other great thing about these beer can chickens, it's the perfect hangout barbecue thing to make. If you're making burgers or carne asada or whatever, whoever's doing the grilling is basically married to the grill because it cooks up fast and you got to keep pulling everything off. These guys, especially if you do a full-size a whole chicken, not a Cornish game hen, but a whole chicken, this is like a set it and forget it kind of barbecue item. You have such a huge window on being safe to eat versus ruin, because the moisture in the can kind of steams it from the inside. It's almost impossible to overcook these chickens when you do them this way. You have a really wide window of opportunity, again, from being safe enough to eat versus overcooked. It's almost impossible to overcook them. So it's a good one for when you don't want to be stuck at the grill the whole time and you want to just hang out with your friends or your family or whatever. They're good for that. So I'm going to get this guy on here. And good enough. There's my other angry sumo wrestler. Maybe they're going to fight. I'm not sure. I'm going to get the grill hot and throw them on and show you the cooking process too. Okay, we're good to go. Grill is obviously ready to go. Sorry if this video can hear the frogs in the background or the coyotes. I don't control all of nature. This is actually more than enough charcoals. I probably should have used a fewer number of them, because we don't want a screaming hot grill for this. But either way, we're kind of looking for indirect heat. So I'm going to spread these around the edges a little bit to at least get a little bit more of, like I said, indirect heat. Put a super glowing one in a pile of ones that aren't glowing so much. It'll get them going. Yeah, this will probably be plenty, because again, they're just Cornish game hens. They're not full-size chickens, so they should cook a little bit faster. Slide these over. This is actually my late father's grill. It's not mine, but it's a great barbecue. Like the old cliche goes, they don't make them like they used to. I have one that looks similar, but it's not as good as this one. So even though these chickens are riding so high on the cans, they're going to barely touch the grill, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a quick scrape anyway. And if you got a good pair of barbecue tongs that open wide enough and are long enough and whatever, by the way, you always got to test out the tongs before you actually use them. So, I don't know if you can quite see this, but anyway, you can just grab these guys with the tongs and just stand them up right here on the grill. There we go. Throw in a couple of birds. Yeah, a full-size chicken with a regular-sized beer can, you can usually get it a little further down, but this was going to work just fine. So that was just for me to get the fire kind of adjusted and ready, whatever, but that's too high up, so I'm going to bring down the fire. You know, different grills, you might not have this level of control, but even if you're just using like a Weber grill, like a kettle grill, you can usually control the airflow and control the temperature a little bit. So I'm going to take this down. For now, I'm going to take it basically almost all the way down. And then we're going to want to close the grill so we keep the heat in. And wild guess, these are going to take 45 minutes to maybe even an hour to be ready to go. And like I said earlier on an earlier segment, you got a really wide window with a beer can chicken, because the steaming of the moisture from the inside of the cans really keeps these chickens moist and delicious for a pretty wide window of doneness. That's why it's the perfect party barbecue food, so no one's just married to the grill cranking out hamburgers or carne asada or whatever. So Anyway, I'm going to let these guys rock under the closed grill lid for however long it takes. We'll check back in. All right, it's been 45, 50 minutes-ish. So I'm going to use these giant, awesome barbecue tongs just to maneuver these guys around. But I'll show you a couple of different ways to see if they're done. One is you can just wiggle a joint of the wing or the leg, and if it flexes pretty well, like that, that's a, oh shoot, oh, got to stand her back up. That's a pretty good sign. So I'm going to assume that these guys are good to go. But just the same, as you may know, you can also just stab into the, I should probably hold on to that one too. You can just stab a fork into the breast, and if the juices come out pink, probably need to cook it more. If they run out clear, probably good to go. And if you really, really want to know, you could just rip into one of the, yep, that looks good to go to me. So I'm going to go ahead and take these guys off, put them back on that platter, take them inside, and I'll show you how I like to get this off of the cans. So first I'm just going to set them on that little cookie sheet and take them inside and wrap this up in just a second here. Okay, so we're back indoors. We're good to go. I'm not going to use that fork for this portion. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and use the same cookie sheet that they're on in case there's any spillage. So my method or trick, whatever I like to get these off of the cans, is I like to grab them with the pair of tongs and then stick the fork down inside through the neck cavity so I can push down on the can and then lift off the chicken or game hen or whatever you're doing here. So there we go. That's basically it. Pretty easy. Beer can chickens or Marsala wine chicken, whatever you prefer. Again, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.